Alright, back again, and in this tutorial we will resume from the previous tutorial, and without further ado, let's get started. So in this tutorial, when this was moving, and if we play it, when it went to the rightmost side, what it did was this our previous script stopped the player from movement once it touches this left side or right side. However, what we wanted it was that if it collides with left side of wall, then it should stop moving along the left, and if it collides with right side of wall, it should stop moving along the right. So what to address this, we need to find out if it's in the collision with this side of wall, or it's the if it's in collision with this side of wall. So to check this, we had the OnTriggerEnter registering for our collisions. So in this case, it would be giving us GameObject name. So if we had a collision with the right side wall, it would show up as a right side wall. So from here we can simply assign, if it's right side wall, then it should stop moving along on the right side. So to address this, we can either check for if we can store the game object name to as left or right, like this, and to paste it here, I will show you in a second. If other dot game object dot name to lower contains left, so whatever the game object name is, if it has the left, you can remove the lower, since our code already has a lowercase. But as you know, some people don't care that a prefab has a left name or right name. So to address this, we will check if a code has left here. Then what we will do is simply make a variable public bool collided, let's say int collision status is equal to 0. By default it's 0, but whenever it has collided with the left, it will automatically turn that thing on, this variable as 1. Here you can write down the state 0 for no collision. So if someone else is reading the code, they will have better understanding. For one collided with left side of wall, 2 for collision with right side of wall. So from here, if it has collided with the left side, collision status would be 1, and what will happen is that if it has collided with the right side of wall, we will simply copy this and place it again. Yes, and then we will press parenthesis again, and here we will turn it to 2, since 2 was for colliding for right, and this right will be turned to left. So this left will be converted to right, and there is a red showing. I have probably. Why is this giving? Is this expected colon? So I have missed something. So this is where if ends. Else. Okay, so here parenthesis was missing, I suppose. Else, okay, so it should have been else if. Pardon me, I forgot that. So now Boolean status would be 1, and oh sorry, it should be 2. For right it was 2. So and so first check that if this is working right. So let's copy it, and here we will place named right. So either you can check it, but since I don't need to check, so I won't check. You guys can play, can save this and play it in your own free time. And from here, what we got to do is simply check that if input.getAccess horizontal is positive or negative, then and one of these triggers are on, then we will need to stop moving unless the trigger is turned on again, and then we will play it again. So if we play it from here, let's save it. Again, it's important to have the basic idea that what you are doing. So if you are moving this left and right and it collides, you see it will stop moving, and it rotate entered triggered with object name right side of wall. So this is what it ran successfully. Boolean status went to 2, and when we play this again and collide it on the left side, this would work similarly. So let's move it, and as you can see, collided with the left side of the wall and it stopped moving. So now what we will do is instead of stopping this altogether, we will check for the Boolean on the left hand side, and we will check for the Boolean on the right hand side respectively, and that is if Boolean status is 1. So to check it, let's if Boolean status is equal to 1, then instead of stopping it, instead of making it not move both along x or y, we simply need to allow this left. I will make you so instead of making it stop here and not letting him move altogether, so what we will do is just stop movement along this direction. I will clear it out. So this is our character. It moves this till this end. When it reaches here and trigger is entered, we tell this controller to stop. But instead of stopping, this time we will check that either it has struck left side or right side, and then we will allow the movement on the opposite side. So if it has struck with this wall, we will allow the movement along this, and similarly for the other wall. So Boolean status 1 means that it has collided with left wall. As for this, we will copy this to show you. Collided with left wall, else if Boolean status is 2, that is it has collided with the right wall. or else it hasn't collided yet, then in this case, that is it hasn't collided yet, we will simply move it along with the direction. In case it hasn't collided yet, this little error, we will make the parenthesis complete, and now it will move, and when it has collided with the left wall, we will allow the position along the right. Vector 3 dot right into input axis horizontal. So instead of this, we will change it to so that it can only be positive. So we put that if input dot get axis horizontal. Sorry, we will copy this again. So if input dot get axis horizontal is greater than 0, then it should allow it to move. Here with greater than 0, we assume that it's moving in the right direction. It's less than 0, then it should allow the movement. So what this means is if it is collided with the left wall, and now we will check in a second. So right now, so it has collided with the right wall, and we were allowed movement on this direction, but we were not allowed movement in this direction. So it can come back right now as well, as you can see. And when it collides with this wall, it passes right through. The reason was we didn't turned it back, so collision status back to 0, so it was free to move in either direction. But before that, we will check it once again after checking the collision with left side wall. So here it collided. Here it's not resisting the collision. So to address this, we need to head over to our we need to adjust these variables, and we will do that in a second and get back.